This is a Harley-Davidson. This is what they look like, and this is what they sound like. To people all over the world, these motorcycles represent America, and that identity has put Harley front and center in Trump's trade war. But this isn't the first time a president has played a hand in Harley's business. The brand is an indisputable symbol for the US, but how big is the actual company business? Let's go back to the late 70s. Harley-Davidson was heading towards bankruptcy. After half a century of being the biggest name in town, its quality control had taken a serious dive, and Japanese motorcycle brands were breathing down its neck. Brands like Honda had entered the US market with small, around-town motorcycles, but as time went on, the bikes got bigger and started to dominate. Harley went from having a 75% market share of heavy bikes in the early 70s to just 25% in the early 80s. Harley executives knew they needed a plan. So in 1981, they bought out the company from then-owner AMF and launched an ambitious turnaround strategy. They shrunk the workforce by 40%, redesigned bikes, upped the quality, and then they reached out to the International Trade Commission for a little help with the competition. In 1983, President Reagan responded. He raised tariffs on large motorcycles coming into America by 45%.
You asked us to give you breathing room so you could finish getting into shape to meet unexpectedly strong foreign competition. It was like giving a boxer a few extra weeks of training before a fight. We looked at you carefully. We asked, is Harley-Davidson really serious about getting into shape? And the answer came back a resounding yes.
With this edge on the Japanese competition, Harley would make a historic comeback. By 1987, it was listed on the New York Stock Exchange, and by 1989, it reclaimed nearly 50% of the heavy bike market. So how do they stack up now? Well, let's put it this way. In 2017, Harley-Davidson sold over 240,000 bikes worldwide. In that same year, Honda sold over 17.6 million. Now, Harleys are on average a bit more expensive than Hondas, and those higher prices are helping them to post profits. But those sales numbers did mark a drop from the year before, whereas Honda saw a rise. Consumers are trending towards smaller, lighter bikes, and sales in Harley's biggest markets are not expected to reach anywhere near those of other parts of the world. The US represents 65% of Harley sales. Its next biggest market includes Europe at about 16%. So with EU tariffs increasing by 25% in 2018, Harley's getting a taste of what the Japanese bike makers got in the 1980s. And this time, they may not have the president on their side. Like Reagan before him, President Trump at first praised Harley-Davidson, but plans to ship more production out of the country to ease the cost of the tariffs struck a nerve.
Harley-Davidson is using that as an excuse, and I don't like that because I've been very good to Harley-Davidson, and they used it as an excuse. And I think the people that ride Harleys are not happy with Harley-Davidson, and I wouldn't be either.
Trump blasted them on Twitter, even saying he would work with Harley's competition. So why is Harley so wrapped up in this trade war? If you just looked at the numbers, the company probably wouldn't be in your sights. And those EU tariffs are also hitting much bigger American companies like Levi's and Jack Daniels. But through its 115-year history, Harley has held a special place in America's heart. With changing tariffs and a seemingly unpredictable president, the rally cry from Harley's 80s comeback feels ever more fitting.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.